People, we're back, and we are going to have a little review. And this anime is quite short. You know, it's only is it 6 episodes? Yeah, 6 episodes. The anime is called Iria, and it's got semicolon Zeiram the animation. This is a prequel that is part of a small clique of animes that are actually derived from a live-action movie rather than a manga. So, in other words, there's no manga that it came from. It actually came from a live-action movie. The live-action movies are called Zeiram and Zeiram 2. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the movies because we're doing a review for the anime, but watch the trailers. If you want to know about the movies, just watch the trailers. You get an idea. The movies were made in 1994 and 1995. They're very, very cheap and, you know, it's a sci-fi thing, so it looks kind of funny, kind of comical.
Are they like Guyver? They're on that level?
They're on that, but you know what? We're looking at the trailer on YouTube. It kind of looks interesting. You know, it kind of looks like it kind of comical because of it's so bad. You know, the props and all that kind of shit. But at the same time, it's humorous and a bit more serious because the Beast. Well, anyway, let's get into the. Since we're talking about the prequel and anime review, we'll get to the movie. We'll talk a little bit about the movie at the end. All right, so this is the plot line for Iria, the anime. Iria is a story of a girl and the alien being she loves to hate. The series begins with her brother Gren taking the job. He is a bounty hunter, and he's well known for his incredible skill. Iria is her brother's apprentice. She wants to be a bounty hunter too, and it's insinuated that she likes to follow him along on her journey to become a bounty hunter like her brother. Now, the anime starts with their first job, not their first job, but one of the many jobs they do. But this job in question is to retrieve cargo from a space station. Unbeknownst to them, the cargo on the spaceship is not what they expect. It turns out to be an alien creature called Zeiram. And the anime, and to summarize the synopsis, after they encounter Zeiram, it becomes a grudge. It's a grudge anime based on Iria
as one of the most epic battle scene climaxes ever.
Yeah, it's a grudge about Iria and Zeiram and their love-hate relationship. So let me just quickly go through the list of characters here because we're doing an anime review. We have a system for the way we do anime reviews, so bear with us. I know it sounds a little bit synthetic, but don't worry, it gets better. We got Iria, we got her brother Gren. Let me say Fujikuro.
And Bob.
And K.
Oh, and K, yeah.
Yeah, the little...
Oh, I guess, does the Doctor count as a main character? Kind of, sort of, maybe not really.
I guess.
Well, Dr. Toka then.
Well, the pacing for the anime is 6 half-an-hour episodes. Nice little watch. So probably could have been made into 2 movies. I think you told me Sci-Fi Channel. Did you say they edited it into like a movie length?
Oh, whoa, wow. This is like 15 years into my memory banks, and I'm a cat, so I have a small brain. Mm-hmm. I remember it being 2 episodes. I think they were like around an hour long each, maybe even an hour and a half. But I think what they did was they cut out some of the more not safe for children audiences, like her shower scene, and a couple other things that are kind of graphic. I think
that was the only graphic scene.
Well, to you, but not what I remember. I remember Bob always being a computer guy, like inside of a computer. I don't remember his physical form. So I think little parts of that were cut out too. I think more. Okay. I think more than just the shower scene was taken out, but I can't. It was so long ago, I can't remember what exactly was.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, when I got this on DVD as well, and on the DVD, it's cut into the 6 half-an-hour episodes, which is a nice little digested way to have it. So let's talk about the animation. And for 1994, I think it's pretty good, to be honest with you. The action scenes I thought were good. Yeah, like you said, it has got one nude scene, which is nothing compared to today's anime, if you ask me, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, it's nothing.
And the opening, I really like the opening.
The opening, they don't animate like that anymore, and I really like it. You know me, I'm the old boy. I like the old stuff.
Yeah, it's got this retro, the song as well, we'll get to sound a bit, but the song is really cool. And I don't know. I just love this intro is one of my favorites.
It is one of mine as well.
It's unique. It's unique. You have to see it, and the song's pretty good as well. But if you heard the song on its own, it might sound a little bit weird. But in contrast with the intro, it's pretty good. But yeah, animation, I liked it for 1994. I think it's good. The action scenes are good. Iria is a very cute girl, animated. She was drawn very nicely. But maybe it's kind of hard to tell her age from looking at her, the way they animated it. She seems pretty young, and when you watch the live action movie, she seems a bit older.
Well, this is supposed to be before the live action movie chronologically in their course.
True. So let's talk about the sound. You've seen the dub and the sub now, right?
I have only seen... No, wait. Okay, I've seen both, yeah. I have.
I watched both recent, because for this review, I watched both again. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, when I originally saw it, I saw the old version, and now I've seen the digitally remastered version.
Oh, it's beautiful, too.
It's good. It's colourful. It's clean.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? It's really good in some parts, and in some parts it's like kid drawings.
Yeah, that's the problem. It looks kind of cartoony sometimes and that's got nothing to do with the remaster, just the animation itself. But they did a good job with the remaster, and But sorry, getting back to the sound, it was good. The dub was fine. I had no problems with it. The voice actors were fine.
They don't dub like that anymore.
They don't. I don't have. You know what? We'll have an episode dedicated to dub versus sub, but I have nothing against dub if you don't take away from the story. And sometimes the dub can put you off the anime altogether. This is not one of them times.
Yeah, this is not one of those dubs. I agree.
Bob,
decent.
The computer, he had a really appropriate voice for a computer. He was probably the best voice actor in this anime.
I don't remember the dub that well.
Well, yeah, I watched it recently, and Bob's got this nice animated voice or whatever.
Okay.
All right, so we covered everything. Let's just get to the nitty-gritty.
Actually, there is one more thing regarding sound. The sound effects.
Yeah, old school.
They are. Oh, what I was going to say is the sound is like borderline cutesy, even comical if you aren't getting into the action. But I think they make good use of it, personally.
Yeah, it's just if it didn't stand out to me, unless sound effects bother me, it's just gonna be background noise. So I didn't notice it. It was fine, no problem there.
Well, it might bother some people. Like for me, when I first saw it, though, it was one of the things that drew it to me because it's like, well, it's a cartoon and they can do things like use kind of kiddie noises for sound effects, but it's still badass. You know what I mean?
True. So let me ask you, the final question before we get to our verdicts, and that is, what do you get from this anime?
You get one epic climatic fight that's been building up for I guess that'd be like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Looking at it overall, you get a look at how animation used to be in the 90s, the quality, some of the technique they use and stuff like that, which is neat. It's neat to get those throwbacks. You get a lot of interesting weapon concepts. They're really...
That's true.
And steampunk vehicles. They're very neat with that concept. Other than that, I'm not so sure. Because the way it's told is, it's like kind of assumed you saw the movies, but if you didn't, you could still jump into it.
I did feel like, you mentioned this before when we was talking earlier, that you kind of get thrown into the story. It feels kind of fast, maybe too fast paced. It just, everything happens. The setup to their Vendetta story it happens so quickly. You don't really get time to feel it. But again, this anime is so old. A lot of times, anime suffer from building up a story properly. And because this is so short, maybe they should have taken a whole episode to do it properly. But so much happens in the first episode. Maybe it could have been delivered better.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I was gonna say you do get thrown in there, and it's like you're thrown into a fast-moving vehicle right away that never really slows down.
Yeah.
But I still liked it. I still like it personally.
I think you just get a Vendetta story. A lot like that Mel Gibson film Payback. It's one of them films where
Payback's one of my favorites, though.
I know, but it's one of them films where, or like the Terminator, where someone's up against an unstoppable monster, and you just get to, there's so many scenes of you watching them fight the monster, and this monster's not getting hurt because, if we didn't mention this, the monster she's fighting is basically invincible, by the way. So every time she encounters it, she's bringing up all these weapons and all these moves and all these ideas to kill it, and she might hurt it, but it always regenerates. So you get a nice Vendetta story, and it's got some nice action. For 1994, it's a nice little action adventure Vendetta story, and it's not too deep, and they keep it fast paced. So I recommend it for someone who likes a little bit of action, little quick thing, and like you said, maybe the best thing to see this for is to kind of see the best part of old animation, because I think this is one of the better older animations.
I do agree with that, yeah.
And another thing, when I think of this anime, I think of another cartoon, not anime. I think someone compared this to Aeon Flux as well, which is a little bit more. It's the similarities between this and Aeon Flux.
Can't even really remember Aeon Flux that well, other than sometimes horrible things would happen to the protagonist, like she'd get her arms cut off or something like that.
Yeah, like I said, similarities, but Aeon Flux is a little bit more hectic, more crazy. Let's not talk about the movie. I never watched it, but I heard it was awful. So, So, let's just give this the final verdict, man. What's your rating for this anime? Using our custom rating system.
I give it a solid B. It's something that I would recommend to people who like sci-fi, who like action or a Vendetta story, who are like animators or artists who are interested in how animation used to be. Or who are interested in, like dubbing or something like that. Because it's not bad dubbing, whereas the vast majority of anime is terrible for dubbing. There's a lot of people I would recommend it to. Not like one of my favorite series ever, but it certainly holds positive note in my heart. Some of the characters, pretty likable. Some of them, pretty forgettable. So it averages out to like a solid B.
Cool. And I totally agree. I would also give it a solid B. It's just a little short, cool anime, a short little action flick, Vendetta story. Good animation for 1994. I think does this class as cyberpunk as well, by the way?
I think it's steampunk because they work like wood and steam and stuff into there instead of just cybernetics.
Cybernetics. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, it's a nice, cool short anime, and you know what? It's a good fallback because I watched this. I think the first time I watched this was 2004, and I remember watching it thinking, "Oh man, this is the golden age of anime." Short, sweet, little bit of violence, action.
Oh man, speaking of violence and action, that last climatic battle—that's actually one of my favorite.
It's great. It's really And by the way, so if I didn't say this before, as a character, I really like Iria.
Yeah.
She is a badass bitch. And, she's all business, man. She's just straight up business. And she's sexy as hell, too. Little cutie. So, Yeah, man, that's our review for Iria, Check it out. It's a little short thing. Won't take too much of your time. That's that, man. And, oh boy, I think we're okay for our first episode of Dreamcast.
No, not yet. You can't bow out yet.
What do you mean?
I mean, we have to give them a little taste of what's next to come. They have to have something to drool over, to anticipate, to not fuck off over.